But they stop every one of these trucks. They open every piece of mail, every package that goes to 800 Canadians on this island just to make sure of what I don't know. What's their recourse? What do? They confiscate
Well, maybe they
it?
just take it and smoke it.
That could be it.
I mean, I can certainly see a personal motivation for this, although I can't see any, public policy motivation that makes any sense at all.
It is absolutely insane.
If it was uranium, I would understand, because, you don't want that passing through the United States in dangerous containers or something. But, weed isn't going to sneak out of the envelope and go get somebody high.
While it's sitting in the back of a Canada Post truck.
Yeah.
It comes in a truck. They're stopping the truck. They're going and doing their searches. But so many packages containing cannabis products have been seized at the border since legalization that Cannabis NB, the only authorized seller of marijuana in the province, has stopped shipping to the island entirely, and a number of other online retailers have followed suit. But that hasn't
I've got
stopped.
the great solution to this. This is a great agorist business if you're on the Canadian side of the business, and agorism is basically making money through honest but illegal business. What you do is get yourself a cabin as close as you can to the island and buy a drone.
Okay.
And just fly your drone from Canada to the island without passing through the United States and deliver people's ganja for them.
Nice. That would be good. But so many packages containing cannabis products have been seized at the border since legalization of Cannabis NB. The only authorized seller of marijuana in the province has stopped shipping to the island entirely. But that hasn't stopped CBP.
Which is the Canadian government, which apparently the U.S. government can't trust.
Right. But that hasn't stopped CBP officials from continuing to inspect. This is U.S. Customs and Border Patrol officers from continuing to inspect Campobello Island's mail.
Well, I mean, why would they stop now?
They've become accustomed to it.
So to speak.
Quote, expectations of privacy from the rest of Canada just don't exist on Campobello, unquote, local engineer Justin Tinker told the Globe and Mail last month. Residents of the island complained of what they called an invasive and unnecessary practice that they were never before subject to, certainly not on this scale, and say that increased mail inspections are just the latest salvo in a growing feeling of isolation from the rest of the country. Quote, if I want to buy real food, I have to drive all the way to the superstore in Canada, and that means I have to drive through the states to get there,
what
unquote.
A pain.
Victoria Matthews told the Financial Post newspaper earlier this year. Campobello Island residents say that it's time for their
hasn't
government.
Changed. I mean, it's been that way. I mean, they have to go through a border checkpoint if they want to go to the grocery store, apparently.
Right. But of course, it used to be, I'm sure, a painless process to do that. Now, what happens if you have a criminal record in Canada and the U.S. doesn't even want to let you in? You're trapped on your island.
Right.
With no groceries.
Well, you can always swim.
Yeah, I got deported from Canada.
Get a dinghy.
Did you?
Yeah. It was another stupid thing, although this was stupidity on the Canadian. Well, it was tag team stupidity. I stopped at the duty-free store in Detroit on one side of the bridge, and I bought 10 cartons of cigarettes because that was the maximum. And then I drove into Canada to go to the casino. Well, it turns out the maximum they'll let you take into Canada is 2 cartons of cigarettes. So you're supposed to smoke the other 8 in between on the bridge, I guess. But they took my cigarettes, and being who I am, I had to pitch a bitch because, I'm not going to take that lying down. So they deported me.
Unbelievable.
Did they take the cigarettes too?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now that.
I was like, well, if you're deporting me, why don't I take those cigarettes back to the United States? They said, oh, no, you can't do that. They've been in Canada now, eh?
But I bet were the Canadian officials very polite, or is that just a stereotype?
They are very polite.
I mean, they were polite as you can be when you're jacking somebody's stuff.
Yes.
I mean, that's rude.
It's just this idea that that's all right.
They are very polite because when, like I said, we went over and we tried to cross at Derby Line, and most of it we were able to document, but not the part of actually dealing with the Border Patrol.
Sure.
They demanded that we turn the cameras off or else, but they were very polite about that. And then they were also very polite when they held us for 90 minutes in their whatever bunker or whatever, bureaucracy building it was,
right?
While they did whatever background checks they needed to do on us, mostly me. I was the one that really held everything up because I've got a couple of misdemeanors on my record, and at least one of them was enough for them to deny me entry. But they took their sweet time doing it.
Sure.
But I got to tell you, it was a much more pleasant detention than any detention I've ever had. Like, they were super friendly. The other guys that did get through, I was the only one denied. The rest of them got through, the rest of the group of us. And they wanted to go grab some lunch in Stansted, I think was the name of the town. So the border guards actually made a phone call to the local pizza shop just to make sure they were open because it was a Canadian holiday that day. They were very nice.
855-450 free. We'll have more of Ian's detainment Yelp reviews after this. 855-450 free. This is Free Talk Live.
I can definitely say that I have found the best cryptocurrency wallet. Certainly the best named one. I'm Mark Edge, and I love the Edge wallet. I've been using it for the last few months. You can buy, sell, trade, and hold your cryptocurrency securely. I trust my holdings of all the major cryptocurrencies to Edge Wallet, and you should too. No long phrases to memorize, just a username and password. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet. Get it now on Apple or Android in the App Store or at edge.app. The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit divvyproject.org. divvyproject.org.
Free Talk Live.
You guys live in a dream world.
No, sir, you're the one that lives in a dream world. You're the one that wants to have a police state in America where you get to determine who can come in and who can't. You want to have border patrols. You want to have checkpoints.
You want to let the entire third world into this country?
Sir, I'll answer that question by reading a short excerpt from a poem. Maybe you've heard of it. It happens to appear at the bottom of the Statue of Liberty. It was about...
You're poor, you're tired, huddled masses.
Great, you are aware of
let
it,
them
yes.
come in legally.
Oh, come on, the legally, Lou. The legal is such a cop-out. Now, hold on a second, because when your ancestors came across, and I don't know what they are, let's say they're Italian. When your ancestors came across, all they did was take you to Ellis Island, screw up your last name, sit you around for 3 days, and then bam, you're out the door. Now, legal is a huge pile of paperwork and tens of thousands of dollars.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
My name is Jacob Hornberger. I'm president of the Future of Freedom Foundation, which Congressman Ron Paul awarded for having an outstanding freedom website. Write us at fff@fff.org, and we'll send you a free 3-month subscription to our monthly journal of libertarian essays and our booklet, Economic Liberty in the Constitution, which George Mason University economics professor Walter Williams praised in a recent column. That's fff@fff.org.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
The political world is a maddening cesspool of corruption and lies. Nobody tells the truth. Nobody keeps campaign promises. Nobody obeys the Constitution. Nobody puts the people first. How can we ever escape this web of tyranny? Vote for nobody.
Hi, my name is Nobody. I'm running for governor of New Hampshire because nobody knows how to live your life better than you do, and nobody deserves that kind of power. I want to put you back in control of your money, your lifestyle, your work, your body, and your life. Nobody should rule you but you. New Hampshire convicts many people of so-called crimes that should never have been prosecuted. If elected, I will pardon every victimless crime in New Hampshire history. This includes drug, gambling, prostitution, gun, and driving offenses. Nobody should have a criminal record when they have not harmed anybody.
Wouldn't it be nice to have nobody telling you what to do? Learn more at electnobody.com. electnobody.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. That is our toll-free number. That's 855-450-3733. In studio, it's Chris.
Indian.
And the nobody formerly known as Rich Paul.
And I wanted to take a moment to tell you about local.bitcoin.com. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy and sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted as they should be. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. That is local.bitcoin.com. And we have been discussing, things on the U.S.-Canada border and this island, Campobello Island, which unfortunately they're finding out that they are suffering the effects of living too close to the United States. It's in the Bay of Fundy, which is kind of shared by, I believe, Maine and whatever Canadian province. I'm going to demonstrate my complete ignorance of Canadian geography. But it's close to Maine, and when you send a letter to somebody on Campobello Island from somewhere in Canada, it is going to get close to Campobello, and then it's going to pass into Maine, and then the truck is going to board a ferry that only runs from Campobello Island to Maine, and then the mail will go through. While this truck is waiting for the ferry, U.S. Customs officials are detaining it. They are checking it. They are opening packages.
So wait a minute. Where's this ferry come from? Do you have any idea?
As I understand it, the ferry runs between Maine, the state of Maine, and Campobello Island.
Okay,
but
it looks like there's a road that goes from Maine to Campobello Island. I'm looking at Google Maps here.
Oh, that's a possibility. Okay, then they could be. Then they are detaining, evidently, these mail trucks, I guess, while the Canadian mail is in the U.S.
Now, can you see how far it is from the island to the mainland of Canada?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to look at here, was to see exactly, what kind of route they have to take. And it appears, I haven't actually done a directions finder yet here, but it looks like St. Stephen, which may be 10 or 15 miles away. So it's a bit of a hike. From the next border crossing point over into the mainland of Canada to Campobello Island. So you kind of got to drive through Maine for a little ways, about maybe 10 or 15 miles. I'll check here.
So it's on the south side of the St. Lawrence Seaway?
I don't know what all these bodies of water are called. There is a body of water here called Passamaquoddy Bay, which it's near there, to the southeast of there. if that means anything to anyone. I doubt many of our listeners have ever. I live in the Northeast. I've never even heard of this place before.
Yeah, and what the residents want from their Canadian government, they want them to begin operating a continuous ferry that will go from somewhere in Canada to Campobello Island, just so they don't have to go into the United States, and so their mail doesn't have to pass through the United States.
Well, on the one hand, as a solution, that makes perfect sense to me, and that's kind of why I was wondering how far north it was to Canada. The thing that doesn't make sense is, why would the Canadian national government do it when the people who live on the island are perfectly capable, one would think, of raising the money to run that ferry as often as they want it to run?
They wanted to live out there. So
nobody else in Canada has any interest in that.
By the way, my estimate was way off here. I was just eyeballing. It is a 50-mile drive from St. Stephen to Campobello Island, almost all of which is in the United States. So about an hour and 15 minutes from one point to the next.
The story continues. Such a project will be expensive. Estimates have put it in the millions of dollars annually, and likely won't get off the ground before the ice on the Bay of Fundy freezes over for the winter ahead. But people living on Campobello Island say the cost would be a small price tag for their privacy. Again, they could do it themselves. Don't ask government to do it.
Yeah, if you can't afford a ferry, maybe you can do a helicopter, a delivery plane, a manned or unmanned. There's a lot of ways to skin this cat.
Even if it's, once a week or whatever.
Right. And you could argue, what do you need a whole ferry for? You need a boat, a Canadian Post, Canada Post mail delivery boat. It just pulls right up to the dock. And this is only like 6 months out of the year, because the rest of the time, the Canada Post trucks can drive to Campobello Island. We're in an area where waterways freeze, and that's what they say here, before the ice in the Bay of Fundy freezes over for the winter ahead. So
I wonder if they could get themselves a snowmobile. People used to drive cars from Detroit into Canada across the frozen Detroit River to bring alcohol back.
Right.
That's wow. I don't know if that's the route that Grandpa Kennedy used, but I think for some reason it may have been.
Island resident Dale Calder told CBC News, quote, "It's a feeling of violation, I guess. I'd like to suggest that the residents of other cities in New Brunswick think about the packages that they get in the mail today, and if it has been opened by another country's customs agents, to determine whether they're entitled to receive that package," unquote. Both the recent re-elected Liberal federal government and New Brunswick's progressive conservative provincial government have signed a willingness to consider a year-round ferry, but neither has committed to funding it yet. Canada's mail service...
Signaled a willingness, not signed.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Canada's mail service, Canada Post, did not respond to Fox News' request for comment on the story, nor did Cannabis NB.
But all of this, by the way, while the United States federal government, I think you guys covered the story last night, they passed, I think there was a committee at the federal level that, with
There's a judicial committee, I believe.
Yeah, they passed, I guess it was a bill initially gave approval to a bill that would remove cannabis from Schedule 1.
Yes. And so if you haven't watched Schoolhouse Rock lately, that it's passed out of committee, which means it has to be voted on by the entire House of Representatives. And if it passes that hurdle, then hopefully there will be a matching bill in the Senate that can then be conferenced.
But
so
I think
it's got a ways to go.
Yeah, they were saying they didn't expect it to get through the Senate because the Republicans are expected to stand in the way of this for some reason.
Or even come up for a vote. Mitch McConnell may not even allow it to hit the floor of the Senate. It's a shame. Yeah. It's got strong bipartisan support in the House of Representatives. I mean, it's a good It promises to be a good bill. At least it's, I
Doesn't
read
it create a tax, though?
Yeah, 5% tax to...
That's not good, though.
Yeah, I know, of course not. But that's what they're going to do.
Yeah.
That's the price we pay for living in this country. 5% at the least on something that people use to put in their own bodies.
Is it a sales tax that they're talking about, a 5% sales tax? And if so, would that be legal in New Hampshire?
It would probably be an excise tax or a luxury tax or something along those lines. Remember that because there was no constitutional authority for the war on drugs, what they did when they started it was they declared a tax on marijuana, made it illegal to have marijuana without the tax stamp, and then refused to sell the tax stamp to anybody at any price.
Right.
855 450 free. We're going to talk about this insanity that is Washington. We're going to talk a little bit, I think, about vaping, something that helped me quit smoking after 35 years. This is Free Talk Live.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
We can all agree these are troubled times, right? So do you know who's on your wireless network? Whether it's a big company selling your data or a foreign hacker, if you're not protected, everybody sees your information. That's why you need Flash Routers, a custom Wi-Fi router created for privacy. Flash Routers uses a virtual private network, or VPN, to protect your online activity from hackers, trackers, and large corporations. And not just one, but all your devices with one out-of-the-box setup. Plus, Flash Routers also enhances your wireless network performance and unlocks powerful router management tools to let you take total control of your network.
Caller campers and survivalists, get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That is our toll-free number. That's 855-450-3733. What are you doing July 4th weekend? If you're in New Hampshire, you should join liberty-minded voluntarists, anarchists, and libertarians from June 29th until July 5th for Fork Fest 2020 at Rogers Campgrounds in the beautiful White Mountains of New Hampshire. Fork Fest happens the week after Porcupine Freedom Festival. That is a big festival here, and this will be following it. Fork Fest is decentralized, which means no one is in charge. That also means there's no ticket cost. Just reserve your camping, RV site, or motel room with Rogers Campgrounds from June 29th until July 5th. What better way to celebrate Independence Day than around other freedom-loving activists in the Shire? You can simply relax and go camping with other liberty lovers, or you can create whatever experience or event you'd like others to have. If you're planning an event for Fork Fest, be sure to let us know in advance. You can connect with other Fork Festers via the unofficial Telegram chat or the Fork Fest forum. Links to those are on the unofficial website, forkfest.party. That's forkfest.party. In studio, it's Chris, Ian, and Nobody. We have been talking Canada, and sadly, because some mail passes through the United States briefly, I mean, we're guessing, I mean, maybe for an hour or so it's on U.S. territory. Mm-hmm. That's long enough for customs officials to inspect all the mail inside this truck bound for about 800 people that live on Campobello Island in the Bay of Fundy in Canada. But U.S., now there might be marijuana in there, so we just can't have that.
They're going to grab as much of that marijuana as they possibly can before it's finally made legal.
Exactly. It's insanity, but also insane is what's been going on around the country and what's going on particularly close to us here in New Hampshire in the state of Massachusetts, which is the government threatening, well, not threatening. They say promising, but I like your point there. It is they are promising to threaten people who want to buy something, adults, not even children. Contrary to the news, you can't buy these things, and I'm referring to vaping juices and vaping products and vaping devices. Massachusetts wants to eliminate any chance that any adult could enjoy a flavored nicotine substitute. That's basically what it comes down to.
Well, they got to protect the children. I mean, children.
And they like cars. They want to jack your car.
They do.
Yeah.
They're always up to jack anything.
They'll take your boat, they said, too. We did. I think, didn't we cover this story last week? I think it was our show, right? This show?
Not this show. No? But I know what you're talking about.
Okay. Yeah. I thought we were the ones that were covering that last week.
Yeah.
Maybe it was you and I.
Yeah, I was definitely on, and you were
maybe
on,
it was
so
Friday.
it might have been Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's Massachusetts seizing cars,
boats, planes, and some say maybe even houses. There's a certain legal term that they use, and I don't have it in front of me right now, but last week we looked at the actual statute or the proposed bill,
right.
And I don't remember the term. It didn't have anything to do with like vehicle. It had to do with whatever was containing the vape.
Right.
So if the container was your house,
right,
they could take your house. If the container was your vehicle, and they specifically named vehicle, boat, and plane, they didn't name house, but it said included but not limited to when they were defining what this container legal term could mean. So some could interpret that to mean your house. So they'll just take whatever it is that they find the vape products in. If they're not, with a receipt that shows that you purchased the product from a legal vendor in Massachusetts.
Papers, please.
Right.
So
and that passed the House.
Vapors.
It passed the state house in Massachusetts overwhelmingly. And the news today is that the same bill, or a very similar one, has now passed the Senate in Massachusetts. It now heads to the governor's desk for potential. Presumably he's going to sign it. He has not said, according to the AP report on this, whether or not that he will sign it. But remember, this is the same governor who stepped up and, on his own volition a couple months ago when the whole vape news thing was starting to really kind of bubble up.
Right.
He was the one who said, we're going to put a temporary ban in place for 4 months or whatever it is, basically through the end of the year. So, why wouldn't he sign this?
And the amazing thing about this story is that, months ago, when a few people, something under 20 people died as a result of some kind of vaping, we all knew that they were vaping vitamin E acetate, and that was what caused the problem, because
in THC vapes,
right?
Illegal
in
THC.
THC vapes,
black market THC vapes,
right? So they overreacted and reacted wrongly by having this temporary ban in the first place. And now they're just saying, well, we already did it, so why not go with it? If you make a good mistake, just go with it.
This attack on legal nicotine vaping products, I'm going to give you an example of how much sense it makes. Lots of people have died from illegal THC vapes, and they were using vitamin E acetate as a cutting, and it's really bad. It causes chemical burns. Therefore, I, your president of the United States, am going to ban cantaloupes. Cantaloupes must be banned.
Why? Because they could fall on you?
Because people are dying of THC vapes, black market THC vapes. Therefore, I'm going to ban cantaloupes. It makes as much sense.
Well, I did have a black market THC vape one time called Cantaloupe Kush.
Oh, wow.
Well, I wasn't talking about banning that one. No, I mean cantaloupes, just the fruits, because that makes as much sense as these states coming up with bans on something that has not demonstrated any harm. What it has demonstrated is about a 95% reduction in harm over smoking cigarettes. And I am so happy that I was able to quit smoking cigarettes. I mean, I didn't think it would ever happen. 35 years, you do anything for 35 years, that's pretty much I'm taking it to the grave.
Your girlfriend also has been cutting back dramatically.
She is down to 3 cigarettes a day.
Down from what, like 2 packs?
About
a pack a day?
A pack a day.
Pack a day.
And doing some vape, but now she's vaping more, and once she starts, once you'll feel differently, and once that starts kicking in, that'll be all it takes for her. So I'm confident she'll do it.
I did pull up a CNBC story here because the AP story didn't have the vote. The CNBC does 32-6. So another overwhelming support for the ban on vaping products. And again, this is a ban on all flavored products in the state of Massachusetts. It will result in confiscation of vehicles and other devices that might hold the vaping products. They're only going to be able to offer vapes and vape solution or e-juice, whatever you want to call it, that is tobacco flavored, and that will be it. Also, they're going to ban flavored cigarettes as well. So no more menthol cigarettes.
Right. Is that true in the Massachusetts ban?
That is the Massachusetts
as well, because
ban.
I think I first heard that mentioned on the federal level.
Yeah,
they have.
And Trump, to a tiny bit of his credit, seems to be backing off his threats against vape users. Is that?
Yes. I have a story about that. Yeah, we haven't covered that one yet.
Okay, we'll come back to that when the time is right.
But the idea that, in my hands, I'm holding a bottle of sweet tobaccochino vaping juice. I use it, and this is what I vape. If I happen to cross the border into Massachusetts, which is 25 miles away, ballpark, I would be in violation of state law because I don't have a receipt for this. That's
bye-bye
insanity.
car.
Right,
Yep.
and they could seize my car. That's insane.
Ignorance of the law is no excuse.
When I was first in New Hampshire, a friend and I went out to Portsmouth, and we were just driving around, and he had like 3 guns in his car, just in his trunk or whatever, and we're each carrying a sidearm, and he gets on 95 and actually accidentally drives us into Massachusetts.
Felony.
And so we saw the state line sign, and he was like, I don't know what to do, and I was like, U-turn, cross the median right now, and he did.
Did he really?
We
Wow.
took a beeline across that median and back into New Hampshire.
Crossing Checkpoint Charlie, this is Free Talk Live.
Anarchapulco is the world's foremost conference for voluntariist thinkers and activists, held in beautiful Acapulco, Mexico. Share ideas on how to live free and escape the clutches of the state. Their unparalleled lineup of speakers will discuss entrepreneurship, investments, politics, philosophy, health, sustainability, lifestyles, and personal relationships. Stay in a world-class resort and enjoy the sun and beaches. February the 13th through the 16th, visit anarchapulco.com for early bird pricing and 10% off with coupon code FTL.
You love Bitcoin. It's the future, right? Well, no, not if everyone stops using it. I mean, think about it. How many places in your town take Bitcoin? 1? None? Let's be real. If this Bitcoin thing is ever going to happen, it's going to need your help. The good news is, the guys at AnyPay have your back. We built a website called helpmetakebitcoin.com. And it's a place you can send any business. And they'll be set up to take Bitcoin in 5 minutes. helpmetakebitcoin.com.
Is oral health important to you? If you don't like your own teeth, fresh breath, or kissing people, then by all means stop listening. Several years ago, I met Jessica Armand, founder and CEO of My Magic Mud, and I became passionate about the product that she created and never want to live without it. It's clinically proven to whiten teeth, but I find it does much more. They want you to love My Magic Mud as much as I do, so they're giving you a money-back guarantee plus 20% off. Go to mymagicmud.com and use coupon code FTL20 at checkout. mymagicmud.com, FTL20.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,465, silver at $17.10, and Bitcoin is trading around $7,617. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, cannabis industry shares are soaring after a key U.S. congressional committee overwhelmingly approved a bill that would comprehensively end the federal prohibition of cannabis, clearing the way for a full-floor vote in the Democratic-controlled House of Representatives. On Wednesday, the House Judiciary Committee passed the Marijuana Opportunity Reinvestment and Expungement Act by a 24-10 vote. As a result, Reuters reports that marijuana companies, including Canopy Growth, Aurora Cannabis, Alvria Inc., and Tilray Inc., have climbed in value by anywhere between 8% and 15%. The MORE Act was introduced by Chairman Jared Nadler and enjoys over 50 co-sponsors. If approved, the landmark bill would see the removal of cannabis from the Controlled Substances Act, ending prohibition on a national level, and would enable states to move forward with their own policies regulating the commerce and consumption of cannabis, and allowing states to move forward with their own policies regulating the commerce and consumption of the plant. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. An Arizona jury on Wednesday found human rights activist Scott Warren not guilty of harboring undocumented migrants, charges that were levied by federal prosecutors after the geography teacher provided food, water, and shelter to two men traveling through the desert in 2018. On Twitter, No More Deaths applauded the jury's decision, saying that, quote, "Yet again, No More Deaths has withstood the government's attempts to criminalize basic human compassion," end quote. If convicted, Warren would have faced up to a decade in prison. Reuters reported the Tucson jury took just over 2 hours to find Warren not guilty on 2 federal charges. The Mind Unleashed reports that after the case concluded Wednesday, one of the jurors told The Intercept's Ryan Devereaux outside the courthouse, quote, "I think we all agreed that what he and these people do is fantastic," end quote. A study conducted in China by researchers from the Yale School of Public Health in the United States has shown that air pollution causes a huge reduction in intelligence. The Mind Unleashed reports that the researchers suggest that 95% of the global population is breathing unsafe air at levels that would cause a significant reduction in intelligence. Data collected in the study, which was published in the journal Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, showed that high pollution levels were correlated with lower test scores in language and math. It was estimated that the reduction in intelligence had a similar impact as losing a year of education. The researchers collected data on 20,000 people from the China Family Panel studies and compared test scores with records of nitrogen dioxide and sulfur dioxide pollution in particular regions. The data suggested that people who were exposed to polluted air had lower test scores. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Fossilized evidence reveals the Spazosaurus was the largest doofus ever to roam the Earth, and a new tandem mobility scooter is released. This is the Onion Week in Review, damn it, and we're going to need you to demonstrate a little decorum. Got it? This week, economists confirm that the booming tear gas industry continues to lead the world's economic recovery. Financial experts confirm that the growing demand for tear gas in countries like Turkey, Brazil, and Greece has increased over 20% annually over the past few years, and is anticipated to continue playing a major role in the world economy.
The market for tear gas just keeps sustaining itself and growing. We can only hope that more people demand tear gas in the coming months, and the recovery will be here sooner than we thought.
In other news, a community is devastated by the sight of an old man struggling up some steps. A stack of unused CDRs turns 5 years old, and this zoo is really promoting the hell out of their new fruit bat. Your diligence and patience have been noted. Prove yourself further at theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Joining you in studio, it's myself, Chris.
And Ian.
And nobody.
And we want to welcome you to hour number 2, because we do 3 hours of radio every day of the year, including coming up on Thanksgiving. Yes, 7 p.m. Eastern to 10 p.m. Eastern, you'll be able to tune in and listen to us. I won't be on. It'll be my first Thanksgiving off in 4 or 5 years, something like that.
All right.
Mark Edge volunteered to take my spot. I thought about it for half a second and said, sure, I'd like to have, I like turkey. I'm just kind of that way. But first, I wanted to tell you about Edge Wallet. A lot of us use it. Edge Wallet is a mobile digital wallet. It's available on iOS and Android. It's how you can hold securely or buy or sell or trade your cryptocurrencies. It's user controlled, so you own your money. What that means is you possess the keys to this locked account that only you can access. Nobody else can get into it. There's support for Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Stellar, and many more. It's a veteran team. They've been building since 2014. They want to help you secure your freedom. You can find out more at edge.app. That's edge.app. And we have been, in the first hour, we talked a lot about Canada and the problems with getting their mail through to Campobello Island without the government opening their mail and inspecting it. Of course, it's not the Canadian government I'm talking about. I'm talking about the U.S. government. This mail has to pass through the U.S. And, yeah, there you go. Just because it's passing through on a truck for about 45 minutes an hour, customs officials feel the need to open every piece of mail and make sure there's no marijuana going from Canada to Canada. It's insanity. We also talked a little bit about the vaping ban that is moving forward in Massachusetts, our neighbor to the south. We are in broadcasting from New Hampshire, and Massachusetts is going to enact this law, this ban on all flavored vapes.
Well, it looks that way. I mean, at this point, they have passed the House and the Senate overwhelmingly.
Right.
It is now going to the governor's office, and this particular governor in Massachusetts, apparently named Charlie Baker, is known for having passed anti-smoking, or rather supporting various different crackdowns or whatever on smoking and vaping. So, I mean, it seems like it's almost a given that he's going to support this, but he has not yet indicated one way or the other. However, it did overwhelmingly pass both the House and the Senate. So I'm sure that he's going to look at that and say, well, this is what the people want. It's passed overwhelmingly. So he would stand in the way of history if he were to veto this.
Massholes.
Yep.
Well, it sounds to me like, I mean, we're contemplating a little different business venture. It sounds like we may want to offer vaping juices and stuff like that at a slight discount if you're from Massachusetts.
If you're from Massachusetts.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we will provide you a documentation to show the cop as you drive back home in Massachusetts that you did buy this from a licensed vendor.
So are you going to get licensed in Massachusetts?
No, if I were selling in New Hampshire, even regardless of where it was purchased, you would have to show papers when you go back home to Massachusetts.
Well, I don't think showing New Hampshire papers would work.
I don't think so either.
My reading of the law.
So they are just everything, no more.
But I'll tell you what I'd love to do is just buy a shack right on the border, at a major freeway. And sell it there because, they can't pull over every car that leaves New Hampshire.
Well, they used to back in the day when I first moved here. There was a news story about how they have fireworks stores that were close to the border. And in Massachusetts, fireworks are illegal. In New Hampshire,
are.
They're not. So you can buy fireworks legally, most of them, in New Hampshire.
Sure.
And so they actually had their cops, the state police, were staking out the fireworks stores, like binoculars across the border, watching people with mass plates leave the fireworks store and then cook up a reason to pull them over.
Wow.
When they would cross back into Massachusetts. So it's actually a bad idea to have. I mean, if they bring that policy back, from what I understand, they stopped doing that after some amount of time.
Yes.
But if they bring that policy back, then that would result in a lot of your customers likely being harassed unnecessarily. Whereas if you're out of physical sight, then they would actually have to go into New Hampshire and stake out the parking lot. And I don't know if they're allowed to do that. They might be allowed to do that.
I don't know what the result. I know that those laws have been challenged about whether you can spy on someone for law enforcement purposes when they're doing something legally
in another
state.
I know they also had a border dispute between New Hampshire and Massachusetts because Massachusetts of course, has a sales tax. We don't.
Right.
So people were coming up and buying tires in New Hampshire, and for some reason, Massachusetts decided that tires was the place to start. So they, I think they sued this New Hampshire business for not collecting Massachusetts sales tax. And the New Hampshire governor got involved and said, yeah, our businesses don't have to do that.
Right. Well, and that's an issue because of the internet sales tax that's federal now. I mean,
what?
You have to.
Well, does it exist yet?
Yes. Government businesses of a certain size, smaller businesses, are exempted from collecting sales tax, including municipal taxes and state taxes and any other tax for other states. That's
okay, so it sounded like you said there was a national sales tax there for a moment. That's not
no,
what you're
it's
saying.
the federal government enforcing sales taxes across borders. We're going to go to the phones where we got Larry in Indiana. Larry, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Hey, I listened to you guys when you were on here in Indianapolis, but
yes, sir.
The things you're talking about, liberty and all this stuff about freedom and all this stuff, it don't really exist because it's all taken away by due process. And Congress makes due process up, decides what statutes are imposed on us and everything else.
I think that's the opposite of due process, but go ahead.
Well, when I'm talking, you'll see that I'm telling the truth.
Okay.
When you have liberty, property, or anything else that you have, it can be taken away with due process. That's what people don't understand. That nullifies all the so-called rights and privileges and immunities in the Constitution. It really does. The Constitution is nothing.
I don't know if you're using the terms due process appropriately. I mean,
well, what I'm picking up is he's saying so long as they follow their own rules in the process of
stealing
taking your stuff and kidnapping you,
got nothing. Look how that is.
Right. I mean, generally but just for what the just to set the record straight, generally due process is considered fair treatment through the normal judicial system. Now, certainly, the due process can certainly be used to violate people's rights, or it's sort of like a window dressing on the violation of people's rights. But it's supposed to be the idea that, well, you've been treated fairly throughout this violation of your rights, and we've followed all our rules. But even as we've seen, they frequently don't follow their own rules, and it doesn't matter because they have to enforce their rules on themselves, so they don't.
Yeah.
Then what's the freedom all about? Because
we don't have it.
Everything that all the rules they make up can be enforced at the point of a gun.
Right.
So,
we don't have
what
freedom.
Are you talking about?
Nobody here is saying we have freedom.
If and when we get freedom, it will be because people said no, and they said no with enough firepower to make it stick. Because all political power, as Mao Zedong said, flows from the barrel of a gun.
Well, what I want to talk about is, with all the impeachment hearings going on, I took the time out and listened to some of this foolishness. I wonder what this is a smokescreen for. I wonder what they are doing in the background while they've got everybody looking at the shiny object.
Well, hold on.
Well, for one thing, Epstein didn't kill himself.
Hold on, Larry. We're going to talk about a little bit about impeachment and some of the other things you brought up. Are we free? Are we not free? Do they play by their own rules and disregard the ones that we have in the Constitution? I think so. 855-450-FREE. This is Free Talk Live.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Balance of Nature, changing the world one life at a time.
Your product is absolutely amazing. I can't tell you how my life has been changed so completely. I'm just at a loss to describe. I don't know how I could ever tell Dr. Howard and Susan, his dear wife, how much I deeply appreciate all the work they put into this magnificent product. I mean, there's so many things that have improved, and I'm only just beginning.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you our best pricing and free shipping. And we will take an additional 35% off of your first order. This will be a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FTL.
I want to tell you about my favorite cryptocurrency wallet, Edge Wallet, at edge.app. Edge is the wallet I use more than any other, and that was true long before Edge Wallet became a sponsor of Free Talk Live. Edge Wallet allows you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and more. It's available for both Android and iOS, and you can download it via the Play or App Store or via Edge Wallet's website, edge.app. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet.
Hi, I'm Derek J. To me, an activist's calling is to actively work to advance a cause. The cause for which I work is personal freedom. I believe my life is best when I engage in voluntary interactions and self-government. I reject the idea that anyone else has a higher claim to my life or my body than I do. I see people who call themselves the government as a threat to my personal freedom. I realize you may feel differently, but my relationship with the people who call themselves the government is completely involuntary. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com. The LRN.FM's social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer-term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Live video of our key New Hampshire-based shows is streamed on DLive. Please follow and share at dlive.lrn.fm. That's dlive.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. I wanted to tell you about LibertyCon, how to go to Washington, D.C. and not lose your soul. LibertyCon is a liberty convention. It's going to be April 3rd to the 5th in Washington, D.C. for people who want to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations for the purposes of career advancement, business, and internet. I don't know why I have trouble with this. Internship opportunities. Got a list of incredible speakers. John Mackey of Whole Foods, Conscious Capitalism. He's going to be talking about that. Vernon Smith, who won a Nobel Prize in economics. Miriam Issa, who is a cultural expert, political commentator, and many, many more. Visit LibertyCon for more details on additional speakers and events, and use coupon code FTL for a $10 discount on your registration. Student travel scholarships are available, and discounted rooms are available for everyone at the Marriott Marquis. Save with early registration at libertycon.com. Use coupon code FTL for a $10 discount. In studio, it's Chris.
And I'm Ian.
And I'm nobody.
And we have been talking about, well, mostly about Massachusetts, but we have a caller who takes issue I'm just going to bring him back on. Larry, you there?
Hey, thanks for bringing me back on.
Hey, are you on like a speakerphone? Because you sound way worse now than you did before.
Okay, that
Much
sound better now?
Much better.
Okay, yeah. You know, I don't try to act like I know everything, right?
Right.
But for a long time, people have been lulled into a false sense of security as if you have some type of right. In a system like we have here in this country, from the very beginning, we had no rights. We have none now. So our congressmen and our representatives can do whatever they want to do this. This is why I think it's so dangerous at this time when they're putting up a smokescreen of impeachment, which is a bunch of foolishness, to find out what they are really doing. And when we come through this 2 or 3 years on down the road, while y'all was looking over here, here's what we done. You didn't say anything about it, so shut up and take it.
Well,
That's the way. That's what it always leads to.
They've been doing that for years, though.
Yeah,
I mean, what's the difference? This is just the latest distraction.
They have high tech now. That's the very big difference, and that's why that I don't care where I look nowadays. Somebody is nursing an iPhone. I mean, you take an iPhone away from the average person, or a whole city cut their internet out, they're going to be committing suicide out in California. When they had, hey, listen, you think I'm joking? It's not funny.
Oh, I'm not. I'm laughing with you, Larry.
There were a lot of suicides out in California when they had those rolling power outages from people that were living where they weren't supposed to be living. But I'm just dropping one more thing on you.
Okay.
This deal with the heroin substitute, what do they call it?
Suboxone or methadone?
That's Suboxone, but the other thing that's killing people.
Fentanyl?
Fentanyl,
yeah. Well, that's an industry in China, and they give their companies tax breaks for producing that and selling it here in our country. That's chemical warfare because 2 grains of rice the size of that dose will kill you. So I think what we're going to end up doing, they're doing economic warfare on us because we're going to end up spending all our money on junkies, just like in the city I'm in right now. They have so many programs for the state's getting in on it and everything, and then still passing out needles, still not arresting people to get caught with this dope. And the people that are junkies that are trying to escape it, they get Suboxone or Narcan to prolong their lives and drain our system.
Well,
so
look, Larry, if you're mad about
fentanyl,
fentanyl, then you ought to blame the federal government for making heroin illegal because that's what's leading to fentanyl being used as a substitute or a cutting agent or whatever within heroin. So if heroin were legal, then the price would be very cheap. It would be very affordable. Huh?
I agree with you 100%. And I think that if they wanted to get rid of this problem, they talk about El Chapo and El Guzmo or whoever it is. All they have to do, they got high tech. They can spot their villas and stuff. They can scrape them with us. I was out in my yard the other day, and a squadron of F-15s flew over.
They were looking for you, Larry.
I know, but they did fly over. They were from some parade or something. But that's so powerful that if you send incendiary devices, say we give you 2 minutes to get out of your villa, buddy, and we're going to strafe you with these F-15s.
Hey,
they will
what's the point of that?
dope. I guarantee it.
And then
just make it legal for the junkies.
Just make it legal. That's the point. Then you don't
For the
have to
junkies that are
kill
out there now to
anybody.
get up to clean their stuff up.
Right.
And take all the profit out and all the backbiting and foolishness out of it. I mean,
well, it won't take all the profit out of it if you make it legal. If you make it legal,
it'll take a lot of the profit out of it because
Larry, thanks for your call.
As Milton Friedman pointed out, the role of the government from an economic point of view is to protect the drug cartel.
Sure.
And you know, people will say, well, what do you mean protect them? You know, you're arresting them and you're seizing some of their stuff here and there, but they're protecting them from competition. So only the people who have the courage to go into the drug business and have the ability and willingness to project enough force to defend their pile of money are in that business. It would be a lot less profitable if they were not getting cartel profits courtesy of the U.S. government.
Yeah, and if the cartels weren't recipients of basically what amounts to U.S. foreign military aid. They are they're waging a war here, which keeps demand up. They are doing very little. They can't do anything to stop. They can't stop the flow of drugs. They can't even stop the flow of drugs.
Well,
into
there are
a prison.
U.S. soldiers standing around in Afghanistan in poppy fields, and they're not doing anything about those poppy fields. So could they stop it? I don't know, but they're not trying very hard. They don't seem to want to stop it.
I know prohibition doesn't work.
Prohibition does not work.
Right.
And really, even if they burned the poppy fields in Afghanistan, they'd just start growing the poppies someplace else.
But cartels end up being enriched, no differently than the Kennedy family was enriched by the prohibition on alcohol.
Yep.
I mean, that was a direct result. And not saying that we shouldn't have done that because it made Kennedy's rich. It's just you're not going to get the expected results that you think you are. You're not going to get reduced usage. You're going to get more dangerous usage. You're going to get bathtub gin and fentanyl. Yeah. Those are going to be the results that come out of this thing. And I rail against this stuff every time I'm on it. The war on drugs is the root cause of so many of the problems we face here in America. Not drugs. The war on drugs.
For sure.
Yeah.
Even the addiction itself, one of the things that allows people to get addicted and think they're going to be okay is seeing these dealers strutting around with a big pocket full of money, and they think, well, I'll just make money being in this business and then it'll be okay. Well, of course, that doesn't usually work out long term.
We're going to talk a little bit about other types of prohibition and how they fail too. This is Free Talk Live.
She seems happier. Her fur is so much shinier, silkier, softer. She has really mellowed a lot.
Sheba is 105 lean pounds of shiny, smooth, happy dog. For life.
The shedding is stopped, the itching is stopped.
Since 2001, we've helped more than 250,000 dogs get over their nutritional deficiency miseries.
And saved our customers bazillions in vet bills.
Everything we tried failed except the Dynovite.
Come to Dynovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
If you want the dog to be healthy, you got to feed it something healthy.
The omega-3 fatty acids, flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa, the digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food.
Dynovite is nutrition.
Dynovite for life.
Don't let your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy.
Come to Dynovite for help.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
This is a special alert for business owners, consultants, coaches, folks planning retirement, entrepreneurs, and anyone who is saving and investing to build a financial future. You are likely aware that financial privacy for most people has recently died a miserable death. And let's face it, without privacy, there really is no security, is there? Bankrupt governments and banks on the verge of collapse are perhaps the biggest threat to your financial future today. The Lighthouse Law Club recognizes this and has been working diligently to provide safe, secure, and productive tools to ensure your privacy, your financial security, and your future financial well-being, despite the catastrophes which many people fear are looming ahead of us. Find out more with a variety of free videos on the YouTube channel for Lighthouse Law Club. Just search YouTube for Lighthouse Law Club and secure your future today.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. That is our toll-free number. That's 855-450-3733. You can also hit us up on Discord. Just load the Discord app on your computer, on your mobile device. Use your high-speed internet connection and your quality microphone, and you will sound like you are in the studio with us. It's pretty impressive. You can find out more at discord.freetalklive.com. But first, I want to tell you, you've heard us talking about the cryptocurrency Divvy. The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to spend, earn, store, and exchange digital money in seconds. Divvy says you'll be able to send money around the globe in only a swipe and instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat currencies right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. There's no need to wait, though, as Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with their multi-tiered master nodes, allowing anyone to earn by supporting the Divvy network. When the new Divvy wallet launches, because of Divvy's relationship with Western Union, Divvy will be in 200 countries, including the United States. You can learn more at divvyproject.org. That's divvyproject.org.
See, that sounds really interesting in having that connection to Western Union. The hardest thing about selling cryptocurrency is collecting the money and getting it back to where you are. So if there's a way to actually buy it by dropping off money, I assume at Western Union, I'm assuming what their relationship with Western Union is going to be, but that would be a huge improvement for a lot of people who have to go through sketchy things to get cryptocurrency, because the banks I've had 2 bank accounts closed already. PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App have all cut me off.
Right. Just for selling cryptocurrency.
Yeah. Actually, Cash App hasn't cut me off. They just jacked $300 out of my account one day. No, they didn't close it. It's still open. If I want to trust them, I can try it again.
I thought they hit you for $750. Or was that something else?
That was somebody else.
Oh, okay.
That was
Venmo?
Zelly.
Oh, Zelly.
Yeah, that was through the TD account.
Well, we'll see.
Legendary.
We'll see what happens with. I mean, the IRS has again announced, just to clarify, or FinCEN announced, just to clarify, if you sell anyone over $3,000 worth of cryptocurrency, we expect you to have a complete know your customer program in place. I mean, the law hasn't changed. I mean, it's been what it's always been. We just want to clarify that we expect this from everyone who sells cryptocurrency, regardless.
Well, I'd like to see how it is I became obligated to follow their rules.
Right. We're going to go to the phones where we've got Otis calling from Mississippi. Otis, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about women's pants. So about 15 years ago, I was walking around and they ain't got no holes in them. But now by gosh, you just look at a woman's pants, and especially them young women, they got holes all up and down the front of their jeans.
Okay.
It's one of the most ingenious marketing things I've ever thought. I mean, I think them people thought of. If them jeans are going to be full of holes, then they got to buy new ones pretty soon. You know what I'm talking about?
I hate those things. I just want to say, and it's not just a women's jeans thing. There was some amount of time, some number of years, I don't know if it's still a fashion thing, but even men's jeans came pre-holed, basically, where it was very difficult to find a pair of jeans that didn't have holes in them when you bought them.
And the worst part is you're paying full price for them.
That's right.
I ain't understanding
More
that.
price. You pay more for them. Those holes are cut by a designer.
Oh yeah, that's right. They're plumb premium right there. And then they may as well have been wearing short pants instead of doing that. But anyways, I was just making an observation, want to share.
Well, I appreciate it.
Thanks, bro.
Great
Thanks
call.
for the call.
Holy jeans.
Holy jeans.
I hate them.
Holy moly.
Well, we've been all over the board, so where shall we go?
We can talk more about vape stuff here.
I would like to talk about that
Trump,
because it just infuriates me.
Well, I've had this in my show prep all week and just haven't had a chance to get it out there yet. But, as you know, a few months ago, Donald Trump had indicated that he was concerned about his son, who is a teenager.
Poor Barron.
And that I guess Barron had been maybe talking about vaping or indicating
he had seen children at school who vape. That was the whole thing that got Melania all upset.
Right?
Quick, somebody panic.
Pass a law, or in this case, just create a regulation. They didn't even have to pass a law.
And let's wipe out an entire industry while we're at it. Entire industry of pretty much small businesses. No big deal. That's what you elected us for. We're small government.
Part of the plan, though, is they want to wipe out an industry of small businesses so that market can be taken over by the tobacco giants.
That's probably true.
Or other cronies.
They were late to the game in vaping, but they finally got their own vape products.
Right.
The big tobacco companies, Philip Morris and those others. So I've got a couple stories here. One of them is Vox.com, just kind of a summary of what happened, and then another, the Los Angeles Times, with an editorial piece whining about Trump reversing direction on this. The federal ban was supposed to prohibit sales, this is Vox.com, of flavored e-cigarettes, including, whatever flavors are out there, with the exception of tobacco. And then on November 4th, the night before a planned news conference, Trump refused to sign off on the ban, reportedly over fears that it could cause people to lose their jobs. Yeah, the vape shop, one of the vape shops here in town, is apparently closing, from what I hear.
That's what he had indicated, yeah.
And that's not because of the federal controls. That's because the city of Keene restricted sales to only people over 21.
Well, his response, in a letter to his employees, he said it's because of the coming federal ban.
Oh, really?
Yes. So hopefully he'll reverse course on that.
Oh, wow. I noticed when I drove by, there were signs up in his window. It said something about government, but I was driving, so I couldn't really look. There were like three handwritten whiteboards that were up in his window. So I'm curious to what that message was.
Yeah. And the thing is, in practice, I don't think this is going to be as big a deal as people think it is, because if they're not banning the unflavored version of these, because you can get it with no flavor at all in it. Flavor is something that has to be added.
Well, no.
So if they're not banning the unflavored, you could then add whatever flavor you wanted.
Right, but not everybody's a chemist. Not everybody wants to.
They're not a hobbyist.
Right,
right.
And like
For the same reason most people don't grow their own
convenience.
weed. But they don't grow their own weed, right? Like most people who smoke cannabis just buy it. And the same thing's true of people who use vapes. Yeah, sure, they could. I remember we went to there was a Social Sundays years ago here. It's a local Libertarian meetup that we have in town, and it happened at a bar where at the same time they were having like the New England Vaping Association meetup.
Wow.
And there was these clouds of vapor as all these vapors had come into this bar to kind of have their little hangout meetup thing. And one of the things they were doing was they had like a table where these people were like mix mastering these things. They like were tweaking their mixes of different flavors together, and that's their hobby. That's what they're into, and it's probably a very small portion of the overall vaping population that does that stuff.
If they would have gone through with
true.
a full ban on flavors, I would have become, Walter White in Breaking Bad. I would have been in my RV in the desert coming up with new
in your
vaping
underwear.
in my underwear.
They can't ban the flavors because it's the same artificial flavor that they put in soda pop, that they put in artificial popcorn butter. If you're getting the butter flavored stuff,
do they have that? Do they have butter flavored vape?
Well,
I'm
it's
sure they
generally
do.
if you have if you're using butter flavor in vape, I think it would probably be mixed with other flavors. But for example, you could make butter pecan if you wanted to. I don't know if that's a flavor they do.
I'm sure somebody's giving it a try.
So we'll talk more about what, Trump reversing course on this and what's coming next.
And the point is the government has no constitutional grounds to ban something like vapes. They don't even have moral grounds because it wasn't hurting anyone. It was helping people. 855-450-FREE. This is Free Talk Live.
Let me ask you something. What are you doing when you put money in a 401k or IRA, or store jumper cables in your vehicle, or purchase health insurance? You're preparing. You're preparing to ensure you have enough money for retirement. You're preparing for when your car battery dies, or to have assistance paying a major unexpected medical bill. That all makes sense. The same goes for building a food storage plan. You're preparing for when emergencies or disasters strike and shelves go empty at your grocery store. The best way to prepare is with My Patriot Supply. They've helped 1 million hardworking Americans become more self-sufficient. My Patriot Supply sells hundreds of items, including dozens of emergency food kits at MyPatriotSupply.com. It could be an earthquake, a cyber attack freezing our banking system, or a disaster that shuts down our power grid for weeks. For all these emergencies and more, get your supplies and prepare today at MyPatriotSupply.com. No more rushing to find empty store shelves because you're too late. Do it now so you're ready. MyPatriotSupply.com.
Would you like to get back that full head of hair from years past? Introducing Reveal from GCNLife.com. Beverly Hills dermatologist Dr. Nathan Newman invented Reveal, which contains polypeptides with natural botanicals and no parabens, sulfates, silicones, or dyes for a salon-quality hair growth product. Reveal. Here's Dr. Newman.
I've treated a lot of patients who lose their hair and they lose their confidence. We've created a unique set of polypeptides, which we call HPT6. The HPT6 contains the polypeptides from 6 different plants. The scalp infusion treatment should be used on wet or dry scalp. The Reveal hair care system is designed to be used for men and women alike.
Get Reveal at GCNLife.com with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So try Reveal today at GCNLife.com or 844-443-6637. Plus a discount up to 25% off for Reveal at GCNLife.com or 844-443-6637.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Good nutrition is key to looking and feeling great. However, eating right all the time can be a challenge. Travel and work schedules can get in the way, or you may not have the desire or time to shop and cook the right foods. Balance of Nature has the solution. With just 3 of the Balance of Nature fruit capsules and 3 of their veggie capsules, you get 10 servings of fruits and vegetables, and that is a whole lot of nutrition. For a limited time, you can get free shipping plus a free set of fruits and veggies. Go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FTL. That is balanceofnature.com. In studio, it's Chris.
Ian.
And nobody.
And we have been talking about vaping, and
we talk about that a lot.
Potential
on Thursday nights.
Yeah, we do. Go figure, because
but you guys are both active vapors.
I am, and I thank God for vaping. I think it's the no one. If you've never been a tobacco, if you've never been addicted to cigarettes, you cannot imagine how difficult it is to even contemplate giving them up. It's most people just don't, and I'll just smoke till the day I die. I was able in a matter of weeks to switch over to vaping, and I've been cigarette free for over a year. I'm not breathing burning smoke anymore. Vaping represents a 95% reduction in harm over the bad habit I had. And
now, do you
I'm
notice when,
so thankful.
Do you notice? Because I remember hearing from people who had a real bad cigarette habit that when they quit smoking cigarettes, and this wasn't when they replaced it with vaping, but just when they quit smoking cigarettes, after a few weeks, you kind of get over the withdrawal symptoms, and then they told me like that they would like hack up they would be coughing in the shower and they'd like hack up black goo or whatever, or something like that.
I've never had anything like that.
No, okay.
Never had that. But I have quit a couple times in the past, once through hypnosis. And for about 5 years after I had quit smoking that time, I would still at least 2-3 times a week that I remember have a dream where I was sitting in a bar and I would reach down and pull a cigarette out and light it, and then realize, oh my God, I quit smoking. Well, I can still smoke this one. I'll just finish this one. I'll be done. Every year for 5 years, I had that dream. That's how addictive it is.
I used to have dreams like that when I first started going to AA.
Really?
About doing other things. Yeah, I remember once waking up and thinking, oh, God, I relapsed last night. I've got to call my sponsor. And
but
then
it was just a dream?
Realizing that, no, that couldn't have been real because it didn't fit with, I don't know what part of the circumstances didn't fit, but I eventually
Something
realized
about
that, no, that was a dream. That didn't actually happen.
Yeah.
Is it easier for you to breathe now? Do you notice
Oh, God, yes.
anything like that?
Yeah, I can definitely tell the difference. And that just took a matter of weeks, and I began to feel better. I could breathe better. I could, I routinely coughed I mean, that was just part of my thing.
Every day.
Every
coughing
day.
Constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, you remember how I used to be. I would be constantly hitting that cough button all day. And now I almost never cough unless I'm hitting a bowl.
Right.
Right.
Which you've cut back on too. You were telling me.
And I don't generally do it on mic, but
Okay, so we were talking about the ban that was purported at the federal level. Trump had promised to do this, and now a lot of people are upset. I'm sure a lot of people are really happy as well, because he apparently has backed away from that promise. According to Vox.com, the night before a planned press conference about the ban, Trump refused to sign off on it, apparently over fears that it could cost people their jobs and could cost him votes among vape supporters, according to the Washington Post that broke the story. Trump was also swayed by protests against the ban and a social media movement, #IVapeIVote, in which e-cigarette advocates argued the ban could boost smoking rates and harm businesses. Meanwhile, pressure from tobacco and vaping industry lobbyists didn't help, including a poll commissioned by none other than the vaping industry showing repercussions at the polls for Trump in battleground states, according to the New York Times.
Nice. I used that hashtag about every day for the last couple months. And just every tagging Donald Trump and saying I vote, I vape. I'm glad to see that was effective.
And do you just post that
me.
by itself, or do you include like a news story?
I didn't. You know, we didn't expect you to be another nanny stater. You know, just comments like that. And
see, I was really
party
disappointed.
Of small government? Right.
Because this is one area where the Republicans are generally supposed to be good. You know, states' rights first, because there's no constitutional authority for the federal government to tell states whether or not to tolerate vaping. And also the small government perspective. So I was really disappointed in Trump that which, you know, many times I've been very disappointed in Trump, but I was very disappointed that he took up this vaping mantra, and I'm glad that he has come to his senses and is no longer supporting this mess, at least at the federal level.
I hope so too. And it's just a travesty. And then to rely on the FDA to be the regulatory agency. And thank you. Do you know where the FDA came from? What administration put the FDA in? Let me think.
Wasn't
Teddy Roosevelt? That's right.
So
a
it's like
Republican.
1905, maybe?
Yes.
Okay.
Wow.
Brought to you by a Republican president, revered by his peers. Yes.
That Roosevelt was Republican?
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
I didn't
Before
realize
he Bull
that.
Moose or something?
Eventually, when
that
he
came
couldn't
later.
get the nomination for the Republicans, he ran under the Bull Moose Party.
And didn't he go back and run again as a Republican after that?
Attempted to, but then he died. So, yeah, problem solved.
Good riddance.
Yeah.
Do you want to hear the other side? Of this?
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Los Angeles Times.
Oh, here we go.
They are mad about this. The editorial published yesterday by the entire editorial board, faced with the troubling outbreak of a mysterious vaping-related illness. And it's not so mysterious anymore because, you know.
Yeah, and it's not vaping-related so much as THC vaping-related.
So much as black market THC vaping-related.
Or we could just say vitamin E acetate vaping-related, which has never been like a commonly used ingredient in vapes.
No, it's a cutting agent, right? That's what I was reading.
Yeah, and it seems like one guy just said, well, vitamin E, what can it hurt?
Sounds good.
Yeah,
and, you know, it's vitamins. It's good for you. and threw that stuff in because, you know, people vaped for decades before there was the first case of somebody getting sick from a vape.
And it's we should really stress that this was due to the improper use of vitamin E acetate, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with vitamin E acetate. They use it in hand lotions. is nothing wrong
But you're
with
not inhaling that.
They use it in food. It's okay to use it in food. It's okay to ingest vitamin E acetate. What it's not cool to do is burn it and inhale the fumes of it.
Well,
That's the
technically
difference.
you don't burn
or
it when
heat
you
it up.
vaporize.
Yeah,
but-
vaporize it or heat
Right.
it up and inhale those fumes. That's the problem.
And apparently it's just the liquid accumulates in the lungs and causes problems. For some reason, people can't take it in.
But they tried to use this to, demonize nicotine, but by the same extension, they're trying to demonize THC.
Right.
So it's not like anybody ever died of a THC overdose.
Yeah.
So I want to be careful when we talk about that to stress that this is a bad additive.
Well, the thing is, once there are white markets for THC vapes that aren't outrageously expensive, this whole problem goes away because people aren't going to buy things when they can't trace the supply chain.
Right.
So, you do have to wonder, did the LA Times miss that news about the vitamin E THC
apparently
thing? Because that's, they're not mentioning it in this story, and it comes up again here in just a moment. Trump announced in September that they would pull the flavored electronic cigarettes from the market, possibly within weeks. People are dying, said the president at the time. In a televised news conference with heads of the FDA and the Department of Health and Human Services, he promised quick action. And the Times says he was right to do so. We'll tell you more about it coming up.
God. He is not right to do so. You got to quit looking to Washington to fix things because Washington never fixes things. It makes them worse. And your freedom suffers. 855-450-FREE. This is Free Talk Live.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Anarchapulco is the world's foremost conference for voluntarist thinkers and activists, held in beautiful Acapulco, Mexico. Share ideas on how to live free and escape the clutches of the state. Their unparalleled lineup of speakers will discuss entrepreneurship, investments, politics, philosophy, health, sustainability, lifestyles, and personal relationships. Stay in a world-class resort and enjoy the sun and beaches. February the 13th through the 16th. Visit anarchapulco.com for early bird pricing and 10% off with coupon code FTL.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it! You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,465, silver at $17.10, and Bitcoin is trading around $7,617. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at InnoScale.net. In the news, cannabis industry shares are soaring after a key U.S. congressional committee overwhelmingly approved a bill that would comprehensively end the federal prohibition of cannabis, clearing the way for a full floor vote in the Democratic-controlled House of Representatives. On Wednesday, the House Judiciary Committee passed the Marijuana Opportunity Reinvestment and Expungement Act by a 24-10 vote. As a result, Reuters reports that marijuana companies, including Canopy Growth, Aurora Cannabis, Alvria Inc., and Tilray Inc., have climbed in value by anywhere between 8% and 15%. The MORE Act was introduced by Chairman Jared Nadler and enjoys over 50 co-sponsors. If approved, the landmark bill would see the removal of cannabis from the Controlled Substances Act, ending prohibition on a national level, and would enable states to move forward with their own policies regulating the commerce and consumption of cannabis, and allowing states to move forward with their own policies regulating the commerce and consumption of the plant. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. An Arizona jury on Wednesday found human rights activist Scott Warren not guilty of harboring undocumented migrants, charges that were levied by federal prosecutors after the geography teacher provided food, water, and shelter to two men traveling through the desert in 2018. On Twitter, No More Deaths applauded the jury's decision, saying that, quote, "Yet again, No More Deaths has withstood the government's attempts to criminalize basic human compassion," end quote. If convicted, Warren would have faced up to a decade in prison. Reuters reported the Tucson jury took just over 2 hours to find Warren not guilty on 2 federal charges. The Mind Unleashed reports that after the case concluded Wednesday, one of the jurors told The Intercept's Ryan Devereaux outside the courthouse, quote, "I think we all agreed that what he and these people do is fantastic," end quote. A study conducted in China by researchers from the Yale School of Public Health in the United States has shown that air pollution causes a huge reduction in intelligence. The Mind Unleashed reports that the researchers suggest that 95% of the global population is breathing unsafe air at levels that would cause a significant reduction in intelligence. Data collected in the study, which was published in the journal Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, showed that high pollution levels were correlated with lower test scores in language and math. It was estimated that the reduction in intelligence had a similar impact as losing a year of education. The researchers collected data on 20,000 people from the China Family Panel studies and compared test scores with records of nitrogen dioxide and sulfur dioxide pollution in particular regions. The data suggested that people who were exposed to polluted air had lower test scores. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
The military's newly developed unmanned Pentagon spokesdrone completed its first live mission today, successfully carrying out a press conference on the war in Iraq. The Mobile Press Engagement Unit is being hailed by Pentagon officials as a revolutionary advancement in protecting military personnel.
The spokesdrone proved effective at neutralizing reporters' questions about 85% of the time.
Many officials say the unit has the potential to save countless careers. Using a high-tech gimbal camera and microphone system, the unit tracks reporters' movements and audio output, then analyzes the data to assess the threat level.
It formulates and deploys an effectively vague response.
We have taken away a number of the enemy sanctuaries and gained initiatives in the areas. Eileen.
Military technology experts see the unit as adaptable to a wide variety of treacherous interview scenarios. They estimated it could even withstand situations too hostile for any human spokesman to bear, such as anti-war documentary interviews.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Hour number 3, because we do 3 hours of radio, whether you like it or not. Now, I hope you like it. We like it, and we like talking about the issues, but I also like to take this time to thank Brett Perry. Brett is a gold amplifier. Brett has made it a commitment to pledge $10 a month to Free Talk Live to our AMP program. What is our AMP program? AMP stands for Advertise, Market, and Promote. AMP helps us get on more radio stations so people can hear the ideals of liberty. And we thank you, Brett. I really appreciate it. In studio, it's Chris.
And Ian.
And nobody.
And we have been talking vaping, and the LA Times is not happy that Donald Trump changed course. He said he was going to ban all flavors and keep those out of the hands of Barron, his son, but he changed his mind. He figured it was a combination of things. He looked at the job numbers and realized that he was about to wipe out a industry. And secondly, a lot of his supporters, or people who said they would support him, let him know via social media. For Trump, that means Twitter, that I vote I vape, hashtag I vote I vape, was a huge thing, and gladly
got his attention, apparently.
Got his attention, we hope. But Ian, you've been talking about this LA Times editorial.
Oh, yeah, they're wringing their hands. They're mad about this.
Oh, dear.
I wonder if they're mad about this or if they're just mad that it's Trump. Somebody was suggesting that Trump should come out in favor of impeachment so the Dems would have to oppose it.
Right.
People are dying, the president said. This is the editorial piece from the LA Times. During a televised news conference with the heads of the FDA and Department of Health and Human Services, he promised quick action, and he was right to do so, says the Times. At that point, 6 people had died from the new illness, and hundreds more had been hospitalized with severe lung damage. An alarming number of the victims were young adults or teens who said they used vaping devices for both cannabis and nicotine. Since then, 44 people have died, and more than 2,000 people have been sickened.
And they have come up with no conclusive proof that nicotine vaping was involved
in any of it, right?
Yeah, nicotine. They've confessed that it wasn't. Like a week or 4 days ago or something, the CDC announced they'd made a breakthrough. And it was actually vitamin E acetate, which, of course, I told my mom that a month ago.
Right. I read it after I read the Vice story about it, and that was one of the first ones that came out.
But the interesting thing, and this is why people say that the media is the enemy of the people, well, the media is certainly the enemy of the truth, because every media outlet was burying the problem in the bottom of the article, where people wouldn't say it. They'd at the end they'd say, "Oh, and by the way, it was THC vapes with vitamin E acetate." If they mentioned that at all.
Right.
But we all knew it.
Well, they're not mentioning it so far in this story here. They're acting as though that it's all vapes that are causing these issues here. So the Trump's plan, reportedly urged by his wife and eldest daughter, was a good one, they say. And, in parentheses, a rare, smart move on public health policy from an administration better known for dismantling environmental protections.
Snark, anyone?
Never mind that it wasn't a perfect answer to the current crisis. Even then, the vaping illness was suspected to be primarily caused by, here we go, black market vaping devices modified for cannabis or THC.
But they don't start out with that. I mean, what they should have started with, an opening sentence would have been something like, And they could have spun it anti-Trump.
Sure.
They could have said, hey, a bunch of people died from vaping vitamin E acetate, and this idiot Trump decided to ban something completely different that had
nicotine,
nothing to
right.
do with it. They could have kept their anti-Trump spin.
Right.
They just would have had to give up their anti-freedom spin.
So they do admit here, in parentheses, health officials are now pretty sure that's what's causing the illness, talking about the vitamin E oil. But to their credit, it is the third paragraph down. So
Okay, well, it's not down in the bottom like it used to be. That's good.
But
It's moved up to
But
the
a
third
ban
paragraph.
on flavored e-cigarettes is still good public health policy, they say. Vaping use among minors has grown precipitously in recent years, doubling in just the last 2 years to about a quarter of all high school seniors, studies show. But doesn't that mean that they're doing that instead of smoking cigarettes? Because didn't it used to be
Yes.
like a quarter or a third of high school seniors who smoked cigarettes?
That's the whole thing. What they're not reporting is the precipitous decline in tobacco smoking, which is truly documented danger.
Right.
So really, if you want to tell the full story here, what we should have is a graph showing the level of nicotine use.
Dropping.
Okay.
Seriously
from
dropping?
either. Well, no,
Okay,
nicotine
okay.
use.
Probably remaining
which
somewhat
probably
steady.
is staying about constant,
Okay.
and then just the percentage of nicotine users who choose to vape instead of smoking cigarettes,
Right.
and that I think is what's been growing.
Sure. I would agree with that.
They say here that nearly 80% of teens who vape say they did so because of the flavors. And even if they aren't using the aftermarket products associated with the vaping illnesses, the high levels of nicotine in electronic cigarettes hook users quickly, and nicotine use presents its own health risks.
Tell me, what health risks
health
do
risks?
they list?
I don't know. They don't. I don't think they get into
They
that.
don't
but,
go into that.
because nicotine isn't the cancer-causing agent in cigarettes.
No. And there are, nicotine, it gets demonized. But nicotine, it is addictive. There's I'm here to tell you, it's addictive. But it also is being investigated as a possible use to help people with Parkinson's disease.
Really?
People with Alzheimer's. There are all these things that nicotine does affect your brain. They're investigating all the different ways, and not all the ways are all bad.
See, I always thought that the reason that I was attracted to both caffeine and nicotine from a very young age is that, well, I had ADD, which wasn't diagnosed until I was 25. But I could tell that my brain worked better when I had some stimulants in it.
Sure.
And there's nothing intrinsically wrong with nicotine. It's the delivery system that was killing people.
Sure.
There was also, they say, a solid precedent for the move Trump proposed. In 2009, the FDA prohibited the makers of traditional cigarettes from using flavors other than menthol because of their appeal to kids. Public health officials say the ban on flavors was a main factor in teens losing interest in cigarette smoking. What?
Morons! You morons! They moved to vapes.
Well,
Can you hear me in Los Angeles, you idiots?
How many kids did you know growing up, young people that were smoking cigarettes, were smoking grape-flavored cigarettes or some other flavored form of cigarettes?
They were
I don't know anybody of any age who ever smoked any of that garbage. I never even heard of it
And
until
it was
now.
like a thing for like a year tops. And then
Angel Clark had me bring grape-flavored cigarettes down to Mexico for her a couple of years ago.
Interesting. I just don't
I'd never heard of them
remember
before
that.
then.
That sounds vile.
I remember clove cigarettes. I mean,
I don't even like weed-flavored cigarettes. Wow.
So they say that the cigarette smoking among teens fell to an all-time low in 2018.
why not celebrate that instead of trying to demonize it?
It seemed possible that Trump's ban would go into effect. Vaping isn't the political third rail that guns are, and it's not as complicated, controversial, or fraught as, say, immigration or Middle East policy. Who, other than the companies that profit from hooking people on this addictive but non-essential product, could find fault with a move to protect the nation's children from potential harm?
People who enjoy it, and if the price of of your crotch goblins is that my freedom has to be taken away, then I'm doing everything I can to get all you bastards neutered.
Unbelievable. 855 450
I'm just thinking about what a
free.
crotch goblin is. That's a new one for me.
There you go.
I can think of a
We
couple
are
things.
talking vapes, we are talking bans, and we're talking about the LA Times, at least, is
They got more.
really angry.
Yeah, they got more.
This is Free Talk Live.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynovite.
Dynovite is nutrition.
Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops, get the 3rd bottle free.
New improved Lico Chops with omega-3, omega-6, vitamin E.
And now, 6 extra direct-fed microbials.
Even better for the digestive tract and immune system.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
I can definitely say that I have found the best cryptocurrency wallet. Certainly the best named one. I'm Mark Edge, and I love the Edge wallet. I've been using it for the last few months. You can buy, sell, trade, and hold your cryptocurrency securely. I trust my holdings of all the major cryptocurrencies to Edge wallet, and you should too. No long phrases to memorize, just a username and password. Secure your freedom with Edge wallet. Get it now on Apple or Android in the App Store or at edge.app. The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org. Anarchapulco is the world's foremost conference for voluntarist thinkers and activists, held in beautiful Acapulco, Mexico. Share ideas on how to live free and escape the clutches of the state. Their unparalleled lineup of speakers will discuss entrepreneurship, investments, politics, philosophy, health, sustainability, lifestyles, and personal relationships. Stay in a world-class resort and enjoy the sun and beaches. February the 13th through the 16th, visit anarchapulco.com for early bird pricing and 10% off with coupon code FTL.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That is 1-855-450-3733. You can also hit us up on Discord. Just load the Discord app. Use your high-speed internet connection and your quality microphone, and you will sound like you are in the studio with us. The us in studio tonight is Chris.
And Ian.
And Nobody from electnobody.com.
And Ian is regaling us with a completely hysterical... Oh, I'm sorry. No, this is an editorial from the LA Times. It's just comical.
Which is hysterical.
It is comical.
They are in hysteria.
How many errors in this editorial on the vaping ban, and it's literally every sentence. So please, I want to hear more.
Yeah, well, they've got more. They're really upset that Trump changed his mind because they want to save the children from flavored vapes that could save them from cigarettes. They'd rather young people go back to smoking cigarettes. Because they don't think that they think that by banning flavored vapes that's going to somehow stop people from using nicotine. That's going to.
It's really kind of amazing when you think about it. They say, well, 10% of people smoke Marlboros, so if we ban Marlboros, 10% of the people will stop smoking. They won't be able to get Marlboros anymore. That's not how any of this works.
Eureka.
Right. And I mean, how hard is it to figure this stuff out? Over how many decades of prohibition not working and creating the opposite of the intended consequences? People still haven't learned the lessons yet. They still think they can just wave the magic wand of government and make these things just go away and change people's behavior. It doesn't
we're
work that way.
assuming that these are honest morons. And what they probably are, in fact, is lying tyrants. Ayn Rand talked about this kind of law when she said, we don't pass these laws to be obeyed, Mr. Reardon. We pass them to be broken. No, you cannot rule innocent men. The only power any government has is to crack down on criminals. Well, if your society doesn't produce enough criminals, you make more.
Right.
You pass so many laws that a man can't turn around without breaking one of them, and then you cash in on the fear.
And I do care about children. I'm a vapor and I'm a former smoker, and I care about kids. I don't want to see kids getting hurt. The last thing I want to see is a ban on flavors that creates a black market for vapes of good flavors, and somebody out there decides I just want to profit a little bit more. What's that stuff I can use to cut it with? Vitamin E acetate. I'm going to do my nicotine vapes with vitamin E acetate because I'm black market and nobody's coming after me. They're not going to be able to catch me anyway. And then you end up with children really being harmed by it. That's what you create.
Well, the funny thing about this is, you talk about children. I don't consider teenagers to be children. They're young people. They're young adults. And there was a story here recently in our very own Keene, New Hampshire that got some national level coverage where a young man, age 15, was allegedly, he says he wasn't, but allegedly he was using a vape in the bathroom inside the high school here in Keene. And so on one hand, you've got all these do-gooders saying, we got to protect the children. Teenagers are vaping. We got to stop this. Well, I got news for you. It's the police who are going to be the ones who stop teenagers from vaping. And in this case, this cop tackled this young man, like a running tackle.
Insane.
As this guy just sort of saunters out of the bathroom. He was trying to get away from the cop who had confronted him in the bathroom. He walks out of the bathroom. From behind, the cop just runs into him and takes him to the ground over vaping. So first they don't want to hurt the kids, but then they want to hurt the kids in order to stop hurting the kids.
We had to burn the village in order to save it.
Yeah, it's insanity.
It is
Classic
crazy.
Government thinking.
And I've been in touch with that young man, by the way, and I'm hoping he sounds like he wants to challenge the ticket in this particular case. He says he doesn't think the cop has any actual evidence because he didn't have a vape on him. He claims the cop says that he tried to flush the vape in the urinal, which of course wouldn't have worked because it's a urinal. which is why he wouldn't have tried to do that, because it's a urinal. So,
and if he did try it, the cop would have been able to pull it out of the urinal, because that's not how urinals work.
Right. So there should be a vape in evidence in this case, and he says there isn't. So it's going to be an interesting case if he actually does take it to court. And it seems like his parents may be behind him on this. So if that's the case, I want to try to encourage him to let a camera into the courtroom, because even though it's a juvenile case, we know from my ex-girlfriend who took a ticket to trial in Jaffrey, New Hampshire. She got I think it was like a speeding ticket or something like that. And I encouraged her at the time, hey, let's take this thing to trial. Let's see if they'll, put a trial on for a juvenile case. We get a camera in there, and we were able to do it. So as long as the victim, the person who's being targeted, even though they're a juvenile, they still have the right to a trial.
Right.
And they still have the right to...
They have a right to, specifically, constitutionally, to a speedy and public trial.
Exactly. Even though most juvenile trials, by default, are not public. You cannot go and observe a juvenile trial. You cannot record a juvenile trial, but if they want people in there, then I don't think that they can be stopped from having that.
And there have been a few Supreme Court cases through the years that young people have stood up for their, it was Tinker. I can't remember who the complainant was. It had to do with dress codes. And this was back in the 60s. Kids went to school wearing black armbands in protest of the Vietnam War. And this became an issue because they said it was disruptive, and, well, they just said they can make their dress code any way they want. The Supreme Court pretty much said that just because you're under a certain age doesn't mean, or you go to a public high school, doesn't mean you don't have your rights.
Yeah.
And that's one of those things that's
and
important.
They've chipped away at that decision somewhat since. In dress codes and in other things, but in theory, but it still is. They haven't chipped away at it that far. I think that would be actually nice if kids started wearing armbands to school to protest the 7 wars that we've got going on now, if you count the drug war.
Well, the Tinker decision was pretty clear. They can't do it. So what the administration's come up with is some new way of saying, well, it was disruptive. We have based on this, this, and this, and then they'll use a tried and true method to portray their defense of the act instead of being under Tinker. So it's just government bureaucracies know how to get around the rules, just like everybody else.
So the LA Times critiques Trump for reversing course and not designing what they call a decision memo out of concern that it could lead to job losses and be used against him during the re-election. They say this is just another example of Trump's tendency to say one thing and then do another. Such was the case when he said he would support sensible gun control, such as closing loopholes on background checks after a particularly bad run of mass shootings, but then flip-flopped after strong words from the NRA. Or when the president said his administration would stop separating families at the border and continued to do it anyway. Or when he abandoned a highly touted proposal to reduce drug prices by blocking a practice that benefits drug buying insurance middlemen. We could do this all day.
I thought they were going to point out this is like Trump saying he's actually for people's rights. 855 450 free. This is Free Talk Live.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. Local.bitcoin.com. Have you heard of LibertyCon? LibertyCon is not only a convention with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO and co-founder John Mackey and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith, but it's also unique because you get a chance to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations, one-on-one for the purpose of career advancement, business, and internship opportunities. April 3rd through 5th in Washington, D.C. You can learn more by visiting libertycon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on your registration. That's libertycon.com.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. That's our toll-free number. That's the number for you to call and let us know what's on your mind, what's important to you. Call us up and tell us what we should be talking about. We've been talking about vaping, and it's just been a giant mess. As someone who is a vapor, I like it because it allowed me to quit cigarettes. But Trump came out and said, I'm going to ban all flavored vapes. This is going to happen, and we're going to do it, and we're going to put a plan together. And then he came out a few days ago and said, well, it turns out I'm going to lose votes, and I guess people will lose jobs too. So we're not going to do that. Meanwhile, the people in the White House...
And let's take a moment and say, hey, thank you to a president who, at least when he said something really stupid, actually backed off that stupid statement instead of saying, oh, well, I said I was going to do this horrible, stupid thing, so I have to do it,
Double
even
down.
though I now realize it's a bad idea, which apparently the LA Times would have preferred.
Right. But Trump's White House is also coming out saying, well, when he said he wasn't going to do the ban that he promised, that we're still looking at it. We're still going to come.
There's a potential reversal of a reversal here.
This is from USA Today. White House restarts vaping talks after American Medical Association calls for a total ban. This actually came out late last night.
Wow.
Does that mean including all vape everything, or what
Yes.
are they calling for here? Total ban of
Wow. Well, they must be making a lot of money off the cancer. I mean, who makes money when you get cancer? The doctors do.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? And these are the same people who forced medical schools to cut their enrollment by 17% 20 years ago because there was going to be a glut of doctors, too many doctors, and thereby created the doctor shortage that we're suffering through now. So the AMA is an enemy of the public health and has been for centuries.
Washington. President Trump announced plans to restart talks over potential bans or restrictions on vaping Wednesday after the American Medical Association and the state of New York put vaping companies on notice that they would push ahead on Tuesday. More than 2 months after saying he would ban flavored vaping products other than menthol and tobacco, and facing heavy opposition, the White House announced a meeting would be held with industry and advocate groups Friday. White House spokesman Judd Deere said Trump would meet with people representing advocacy, industry, nonprofits, medical associations, and state officials. Quote, as the president has said, note when he wasn't saying something else, as the president has said, there is a serious problem among our youth and their greatest addiction to growing addiction to e-cigarettes, unquote, Deere said. Quote, the policy-making process is not stalled. It continues to move forward, unquote.
Ooh.
Yeah, so, don't stop protesting. The people in the Republican Party, the party of small government, as they intend to micromanage and nanny state you.
So this big meeting is supposed to happen tomorrow.
The meeting will give the administration a chance to hear from, quote, a large group representing all sides as we continue to develop responsible guidelines that protect the public health and American people.
Look, we're not talking about guidelines here. Whenever it's the government, the state, this criminal enterprise, it's never asking, it's never suggestion. It's not a guideline. A guideline is a kind word and a suggestion saying, oh, you might want to try it this way. You might want to, here's an idea. No. When it comes to the government, it is the threat of force and the actual use of violence to get their way. This is not a guideline. Whatever they come up with.
And there is no law so trivial that they won't kill you to enforce it.
Here's
they strangled a man to death over selling loose cigarettes in New York City.
Right.
So don't think they won't kill your child for vaping.
Here's an example of the American Medical Association, just encouraging the democratic process to move on. It's simple. We must keep nicotine products out of the hands of young people, unquote. AMA President Dr. Patrice Harris said in a statement. Also Tuesday, New York Attorney General Letitia James announced a lawsuit against Juul Labs, claiming that the company illegally marketed flavored e-cigarettes to teenagers.
I mean, it comes right back to what I was saying before about people have not yet learned their lesson. This tough talk, we must keep nicotine. Did he say nicotine products? He didn't say just vape products. He said nicotine products. So they're talking about a total ban on anything nicotine related.
Cigarettes. Right? And it's interesting.
It's never worked. Ever. Banning things.
People will die. If they outlaw cigarettes and and vapes and enforce that the way they've enforced the drug war, we're talking millions of deaths.
Sure, but not only that, but also think about the black market nicotine products that'll then become a thing.
Right.
You know, you've got black market THC products right now that are the things that are causing deaths. Well, now you're going to push all nicotine products underground. Well, guess what? They're still going to be manufactured. They're just going to be manufactured by drug cartels and, questionable Chinese factories and smuggled into the United States. And the price, of course, will go up by 10x.
Now, interestingly, and if you don't think Big Tobacco's donations to political campaigns play into this, have you heard the changes in snus? Snus. Chewing tobacco, but snus.
Little bags of it.
Right. And they have recently changed their regulations from the FDA on how they can package and sell snus. They are reducing it from requiring it to say may cause your lip to fall off or something like that, or to basically saying, well, if you're going to do it, it's still not really healthy. They downgraded for a product that is now becoming popular with Big Tobacco, a chewing tobacco delivery that is safer than the one before. Yet with this, which is a safer delivery method than cigarettes, which involves inhaling smoke, they're completely against it. So it just means I agree with you. The last Big Tobacco is also producing. The idea is they want to do an e-cigarette that will actually heat up and release vapor from actual tobacco. So it would be
a plant, or
it would be an herb vaporizer for tobacco, which they've had for marijuana for a long time.
Sure, but the idea is, well, we should replace all Juuls with these because they still use our tobacco. So this is being pursued too.
Which it might have some health benefit, but it can't be as healthy as just a vape, because you've still got all of those chemicals that are in tobacco, and that's a lot of chemicals.
And their whole thing is we want people to associate nicotine with tobacco because that's our brand.
Right.
When you start to go into, and this is the problem with flavors from their business point of view, flavors for the first time gave me an alternative that didn't taste like a cigarette. I don't associate my craving for nicotine with my craving for cigarettes. The cigarette smell, the cigarette taste. It's a big difference, and it helped me quit. 855-450-FREE. This is Free Talk Live.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business, so make sure that they create a positive impression with Reputation Defender. What the internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with Reputation Defender. Call 800-831-0771 now. That's 800-831-0771. For your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with Reputation Defender. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-831-0771 to learn more. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771.
Do the letters IRS give you anxiety? I'm Dan Pilla. I've defended people from the IRS for more than 40 years. My book, How to Get Tax Amnesty, created the tax resolution industry and is responsible for helping hundreds of thousands of people. It can help you too. If you're a non-filer or facing IRS enforcement right now, your case is unique. You need real help, not cookie-cutter advice. My clients get my personal attention. Buy my book at danpilla.com and get a free consultation directly with me. That's danpilla.com. Let's start solving your tax problem right now.
The political world is a maddening cesspool of corruption and lies. Nobody tells the truth. Nobody keeps campaign promises. Nobody obeys the Constitution. Nobody puts the people first. How can we ever escape this web of tyranny? Vote for nobody.
Hi, my name is Nobody. I'm running for governor of New Hampshire because nobody knows how to live your life better than you do, and nobody deserves that kind of power. I want to put you back in control of your money, your lifestyle, your work, your body, and your life. Nobody should rule you but you. New Hampshire convicts many people of so-called crimes that should never have been prosecuted. If elected, I will pardon every victimless crime in New Hampshire history. This includes drug, gambling, prostitution, gun, and driving offenses. Nobody should have a criminal record when they have not harmed anybody.
Wouldn't it be nice to have nobody telling you what to do? Learn more at electnobody.com. electnobody.com.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up in any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Our last segment of the evening. In studio, it's Chris.
And Ian.
And Nobody.
And we have been talking about smoking and vaping and nicotine and alternatives.
Oh, my.
Yeah, oh, my. And we had just talked briefly about changing regulations. We don't have a story to refer to. We're going to see if we can bring that in one of these evenings. Talking about reduced regulations for snus, S-N-U-S. This is something that has been a thing in, I believe, Scandinavian countries for quite some time. There have been a couple companies that have opened up to do it here, still a tobacco product. But the federal government may decide that they don't need as many regulations for that tobacco product as evidently flavored vapes. It's really weird.
I would love to see some statistical information saying that snus is safer than vaping. I don't believe that. It seems it seems contrary to all common sense. Now, of course, the reason we do research is because the answers returned by research aren't always what you would expect from common sense.
Right.
Otherwise we could just use common sense and not worry about research. But I would love to see some solid numbers on this stuff.
We're going to look into that, and we'll certainly cover it one of these shows. But it is interesting that the government demonizes what we're really talking about is nicotine, that a lot of people have become addicted to. A lot of people just enjoy it. They don't mind being addicted to it. I love when I get to go outside and vape, or if I take a vape break, it gives me a burst of energy. This is a feature of nicotine. and it helps calm my nerves. That's why a lot of people that have been diagnosed with ADD say that they get something out of a cigarette, and I just choose a safer method of doing that.
I'm going to give my prediction as to where this will end up. I don't think they're going to ban it at the federal level.
You think Trump's just going through the motions with this big meeting tomorrow?
No, I think what they're going to do is make a bunch of noise about banning it and then taxing it. Because the real problem, I think, is that people are escaping tobacco taxes by using vapes. And the governments depend on those tobacco taxes to exist. And they can't just start banning or they can't just start taxing vaping because it doesn't make any sense. The reason they're taxing cigarettes is to stop people from using cigarettes. So they have to demonize vaping before they can tax it. And I think that's the end game here. No ban, yes tax. That's what I expect. And I hope that my fellow vapors will be out there in the streets with me raising holy hell if and when they do that.
Well, count me in. This whole thing has been such a travesty, as nobody brought up earlier. When we first started talking about this, it became apparent within about a week that these horrible deaths, all these people sickened by quote vaping, it was really black market THC vapes that were using vitamin E acetate as a thickener. It was as an additive in these things. And Vice magazine found this out within about a week. It was really fast after this story broke. And then consequently, the CDC found out really quick
for government
2 months later. And then they finally
government. That's pretty quick.
Yeah, I guess. But it's a shame because now you have an entire industry that actually has helped health. You have a million people, millions of people, potentially dropping cigarettes in favor of vapes thanks to flavors.
Yeah, I really want to look at the numbers on number of Americans vaping, number of Americans smoking, and how many of the people vaping used to smoke, or smoke when they don't vape.
Right.
There is a unrelated story, but we were talking about a high schooler who was tackled here in Keene over vaping in the bathroom, and my roommate came into the studio earlier tonight and shared a story with us from the Free Thought Project about a young man who was, I guess he's a high school freshman in Florida, who was suspended for 5 days because he did a little bit of political outreach in his high school.
Oh, my God.
So this could happen to any students that wanted to do outreach on vaping freedoms, for instance. A student whose mother asked not to be named was suspended recently and will remain suspended for an entire week. His violation was he wore a hat that read "Taxation is theft" across the front and handed out flyers for a Libertarian presidential candidate who advocates ending the war on drugs.
So what did he get suspended for?
Wearing a hat. And handing out flyers. Neither of the statements are threatening, obscene, or otherwise illegal, yet recently the student, who will be referred to as E in this story, was approached by school staff members for wearing the hat. E says that he was wearing the hat at a time and place in which students are allowed to wear hats, but possibly due to the words, he believes he was targeted. He told the Free Thought Project, quote, "The administration claimed I can't wear hats outside, when it actually says in the Florida Constitution that students can in fact wear hats or other headgear outside."
They have a constitutional right to wear hats in Florida? I had no idea.
Florida, man.
Florida's constitution is a dumb document. They have to update it whenever somebody passes a constitutional amendment. So, like in a lot of states, you can do these ballot procedures. Referendums. Florida has referendums, but they are to amend the Constitution whenever you pass a referendum.
So it's constantly hacked.
Yeah, the smoking ban or the bullet train or whatever these things are that they've passed have all gone into the Constitution.
Wow.
Yeah, and rightly understood, the federal Constitution would ban a federal ban on wearing hats in school, because there's always the 9th Amendment, which points out that that the enumeration in this Constitution of certain rights shall not be held to deny or disparage others retained by the people.
Right.
E was handing out flyers for the 2020 presidential candidate Dan Berman, who advocates for ending the war on drugs and that taxation is theft, and all hell broke loose. He found himself surrounded by school staff who says he attempted to detain him for handing out the flyers. Quote, "I tried to leave the cafeteria when I was told I wasn't being detained, and I only stayed because I was followed, harassed, and coerced into doing so." A deputy then got involved and told school administrators that E was filming them. Quote, "They got the deputy involved the first time because I started recording. He was nearby when they confronted me for handing out the flyers and then walked up to us and said, 'I'd like to let you know that he might be recording you without your knowledge.' He says I was suspended out of school for 5 days for the flyers and refusing to turn them in and then being skeptical of their claims as to what the rules are." He says,
well, you should be. They claim you live in a free country in school.
He says they lied to me about the hat rule, so I was thinking they might be lying again. They didn't allow the opportunity for me to look up the rule because they knew they could have possibly been wrong. Kudos to this guy for, number one, actually, using his free speech rights in a school campus, but number two, to not believe the bureaucrats when they're making claims.
Yeah, I've had them frequently lie to me, tell me it's against the law for you to videotape us when it's
not true. Yeah, they just straight up lie about that all the time. E did provide a copy of the suspension letter, which says he was suspended for, quote, disobedience/insubordination.
Insubordination.
The Free Thought Project contacted the school district and has not received a response. And they say here, when expressing peaceful opinions on taxation and the war on drugs gets you kicked out of school for 5 days for insubordination, it may be time to bring the mission of public education into question. They say.
And when did subordination become part of education anyway?
When the government took over.
Insubordination is a military charge.
Exactly.
I was just in a community college a couple years ago. My teachers were not my superiors.
No,
they were
teachers.
just teachers.
Yeah.
They had a different job than I did, and I was paying them to do their job with me.
Right, but that's not public education. It's not voluntary. And you can't get out of paying for it.
Well, and it's all about hierarchy there. It's all about teaching or training these students. This is what life is going to be like. There's men with guns and badges who are going to tell you what to do. These people in purported authority over you are going to tell you how to live your life, and you better obey or else you're going to get tackled.
Besides, it prepares you for prison. So, it's not like you're it's not like you're not learning a useful life skill.
Exactly. Thank you for joining us here on Free Talk Live, where we're talking about the issues of the day. We invite you to call any day of the year because we're always here, 7 p.m. Eastern to
whenever
10 Eastern.
Balance of nature, changing the world one life at a time.
Back in January, February, I'd get home, make myself something to eat, blah, blah, blah. My girlfriend works nights. By 8:30, 8 o'clock, I'd be in bed. I'm sitting there thinking, okay, if this is what the rest of life is like, I'm doomed. Today is day 14 of me taking Balance of Nature, and my energy level's through the roof. It took me 5 years of hearing it on talk radio to actually try it. The difference is night and day.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you our best pricing and free shipping. And we will take an additional 35% off of your first order. This will be a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FTL.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
The latest episode of Declare Your Independence with Ernest Hancock is next after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,465, silver at $17.10, and Bitcoin is trading around $7,617. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, cannabis industry shares are soaring after a key U.S. congressional committee overwhelmingly approved a bill that would comprehensively end the federal prohibition of cannabis, clearing the way for a full-floor vote in the Democratic-controlled House of Representatives. On Wednesday, the House Judiciary Committee passed the Marijuana Opportunity Reinvestment and Expungement Act by a 24-10 vote. As a result, Reuters reports that marijuana companies, including Canopy Growth, Aurora Cannabis, Alvria Inc., and Tilray Inc., have climbed in value by anywhere between 8% and 15%. The MORE Act was introduced by Chairman Jared Nadler and enjoys over 50 co-sponsors. If approved, the landmark bill would see the removal of cannabis from the Controlled Substances Act, ending prohibition on a national level, and would enable states to move forward with their own policies regulating the commerce and consumption of cannabis, and allowing states to move forward with their own policies regulating the commerce and consumption of the plant. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. An Arizona jury on Wednesday found human rights activist Scott Warren not guilty of harboring undocumented migrants, charges that were levied by federal prosecutors after the geography teacher provided food, water, and shelter to two men traveling through the desert in 2018. On Twitter, No More Deaths applauded the jury's decision, saying that, quote, "Yet again, No More Deaths has withstood the government's attempts to criminalize basic human compassion," end quote. If convicted, Warren would have faced up to a decade in prison. Reuters reported the Tucson jury took just over 2 hours to find Warren not guilty on 2 federal charges. The Mind Unleashed reports that after the case concluded Wednesday, one of the jurors told The Intercept's Ryan Devereaux outside the courthouse, quote, "I think we all agreed that what he and these people do is fantastic," end quote. A study conducted in China by researchers from the Yale School of Public Health in the United States has shown that air pollution causes a huge reduction in intelligence. The Mind Unleashed reports that the researchers suggest that 95% of the global population is breathing unsafe air at levels that would cause a significant reduction in intelligence. Data collected in the study, which was published in the Journal Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, showed that high pollution levels were correlated with lower test scores in language and math. It was estimated that the reduction in intelligence had a similar impact as losing a year of education. The researchers collected data on 20,000 people from the China Family Panel studies and compared test scores with records of nitrogen dioxide and sulfur dioxide pollution in particular regions. The data suggested that people who were exposed to polluted air had lower test scores. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
A new report by the Department of Health and Human Services has found that the average male is 4,000% less effective in fights than he imagines, casting powerful doubts on many men's claims that they could take someone out in 2 seconds or smash a guy's face in with their fist.
On average, men describing hypothetical fights overestimated their level of combat skill by a factor of 40, with 80% of males incorrectly predicting they could mess a guy up real bad with one solid punch to the jaw. During actual physical altercations, however, these men were statistically more likely to end up hurting themselves, or, most commonly, trying to diffuse the tension by nervously saying, "Hey man, let's all just calm down, okay?" before any fighting even came to pass.
Researchers discovered that men were significantly weaker than they verbally indicated while chatting with friends in bars and locker rooms, and that men who were 90% sure they could tear someone a new asshole tended to succeed in fewer than 1 in 10 fights.
This is the Onion News Network.
And now, live from the studios of Freedom's Phoenix, Ernest Hancock.
Believe me when I say we have a difficult time ahead of us. But if we are to be prepared for it, we must first shed our fear of it. I stand here without fear because I remember that I am here not because of the path that lies before me, but because of the path that lies behind me. I remember that for 100 years we have fought these machines. And after a century of war, I remember that which matters most. We are still here! Today, let us make them remember. We are not afraid!
Yeah. Unafeared here in Claire. Your Independence, and me, you're in Hancock here in Phoenix, Arizona, from the BEA beautiful studios of Freedom's of the House, FreedomsPhoenix.com. Wait a minute. FreedomsPhoenix.com. Wait a minute. Never mind. What we're going to do, tell you about a speech I gave last night. Oh, yeah, got to yell. Yeah. I got Donna's desk all covered up with stuff. I'm cleaning up. First thing, Jordan Peterson, clean your room, young man. So that's what I'm doing. That bucket, from the presentation last night, I need that manila envelope. What we're going to do is I gave a presentation last night at the Economic Discussion Group here. It is, what do they call it now? Chet Anderson Leonard Reed Discussion Group. And it was, it's been around for decades, and really, really smart, great guys. I mean, this is, judges, lawyers, doctors, activists, organization, think tanks, that kind of thing. It's been around for a while. And the main thing is the people there's so many smart people that the presentations are done by the members, by the members of the club. And you go once a month. It is, what is it? Usually the third Wednesday of the month, I think is what it is. And what happens is people there, the attendees, are accomplished people that have their own whatever, right? So they schedule, months in advance who's going to give a presentation. And last night was mine on pirates. And it was interesting. A lot of the guys did some research. I mean, they went around and saw some documentaries or read an article or something. And there was an article last year that was on Mises, and it was about what is wrong with this? Oh, because I don't have my computer open. Ha ha ha. The one of the things that they were interested in was how pirates were depicted in this one article is not necessarily the bad guys. Well, this is right at the time that they were giving me crap about doing pirateswithoutborders.com. Pirates, God, Ernie, why do you do pirates, man? You're so out there, you know. So when they read the letters of Captain Mark, one of the chair of the organization, he read the book, and he goes,